All right, welcome to another episode of the Couch Coaches podcast, where we talk about everything going on in the world of sports. And we have, well, what we have is I need to give Deacon Greg his flowers, because he was talking about Denver from when we first started doing this show 4 months ago, 5 months ago, whenever we started doing it. He's like, you got to watch Denver. Denver's a team. And Brother Bill and I were like, we've seen this before, no big deal. And he stuck with the team the whole way. And so congratulations on seeing something that we did not believe in. How did you know Denver was so good?
Well, I just watched him the whole season. I say it really caught my attention with what Joker did. He's a two-time MVP, and then Aaron Gordon. I had been following that kid ever since high school, so I just followed him the whole time. And like I said, they were leading in the West. They were, a number one team in the West the whole year, So I just watched them the whole year. And of course I was rooting for my Lakers, just because I'm a Laker fan, but I always knew Denver was a team to beat in the West, So, just following them just because mainly Aaron Gordon went there and the Joker, I had my doubts with Murray. I didn't think he was going to be able to come back all the way from that injury, because I had been watching him the whole, he was struggling early on in the season. His shots wasn't really falling, but he kept shooting. And I'm like, dude, you don't need to shoot that much. But he shot himself back into shape and back into form, and he really showed up in the playoffs. But that was my one spot that I didn't think that he would come through like he did. But they were just a tough team the whole time. They played together. Good chemistry and good bench, and I was just watching the whole year and just trying to bring Bill's attention to him. Hey, you guys need to just check this team out, man. So congratulations to Denver. And
then you also got to have this, also your team lost to the team that won the championship, which is also, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, so I was trying to get Bill to see that way, but you Golden State Nuggets didn't see that, so.
Yeah, it's so when Gordon went to the Nuggets, it felt like Gordon needed the Nuggets more than the Nuggets needed Gordon, but he was a huge part of their defense, and he was one of the main guys. Every win, Gordon's name was getting called a lot, and it's kind of cool to see. I just saw so my daughter played with his sister in high school for basketball, and so we've kind of known the Gordons. The older brother went to UCLA, then went to New Mexico, and then Aaron, where did he go?
He ended up playing overseas. Yeah, I went to a couple to the games when he played for Midi. I met his dad. Me and his dad sat and talked for a long time. I met his mom. This is when Aaron was like I think he was a junior at the time. Might have been a sophomore. I know he didn't have a license because his mom was driving him around and stuff. So he didn't have driver's license at that time. And I met his sister. His sister ended up going to Notre Dame. I don't know if she played. I don't think she played ball there, but she got a scholarship there and went to Notre Dame. Her and one of my daughters received an award downtown San Jose. They had a ceremony. Again, I met his family at that ceremony also. But yeah, he's just a good kid, and just well-mannered. I think what happened with him is he went to Arizona. He was a one and done. That shocked me. Then he got drafted. I think it was a number 2 or something, or number 4 pick, something. He was really high. And I didn't think, I thought, it's not his fault that he got overdrafted like that. And then he went and they put a lot of pressure on him in Orlando. They wanted him to be this guy, and that wasn't really him, but he took it. If you're going to draft me this high and put all this on me. And so, but like I say, Denver's a great fit for him. He got there. He didn't have to be the scorer, the number one option, and he could just do what he does. I hope you wrote that down about the defense that I was telling you about, and you go, oh, let me write this down. Yeah, he's that guy. He's a defensive player. He's going to rebound. He's going to and actually he's a good scorer, but he's not that. He ain't your number one option as a scorer, but he could score. Sure. He could shoot and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean he almost is kind of like a Wiggins, where he drafts high and you could see, okay, he could kind of be that dude, but he's not that guy, but he's an awesome number 2. He's an awesome number 3, and he's a great defender. I just remember you'd go into Orlando and he just kind of disappeared. We would pay attention to him because he was from San Jose, but man, he kind of nothing, and then he won the dunk contest, and it's like, oh, okay, well here,
Yeah,
okay, there
I
he is.
followed him in Orlando because again I was just following his career, and I kind of seen what happened. You know, they were expecting him to be that guy, and he, like I said, I was reading an article when he was in Orlando, he was getting like 20 to 25 shots a game. You know, because he was that guy. When he went to
Right.
Denver, he barely getting 13 shots a game, maybe. You know, so he had to take a different role.
Yeah, they showed a picture of like his house. It sounds like it looks like he just took a warehouse, converted it into like a full gym. So he's got the gym, he's got the basketball court, he's got the recovery, hot tub and ice baths and stuff, and he just lives in this thing. Like it doesn't even look like a house. It's like it like literally looks like a warehouse they converted. Like to me, it's refreshing because you get these guys like we were talking about it before we started. You get these guys like Zion that come out and man, they're juggernauts, and then they don't seem to have like that love that you want to see great players have. And then you have this dude like Aaron, who's because his brother was a very high profile high school basketball player, went to UCLA, was very high profile. So people started looking at him, especially because he's so tall. He's getting attention when he's like in 8th grade, 9th grade. And he went to Orlando, went to a terrible organization, but just played hard and kept getting better. And here he got himself into a position where he was a major piece of a championship team. And I think I love like that kind of a sports story where you see more of that in football, but man, it's so nice to see that in basketball too.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's a great story.
And of course, for next year, I don't know if you guys are having the same issue we're having, the Lakers and the Warriors all who's getting traded. How are we getting Bradley Beal? How are we getting it? Just I don't know if you guys are, if it sounds like you guys are going to kind of stay where you are, or if you're talking about moves. But man, everybody's like, are you ready to say goodbye to Clay? Are you ready to say goodbye to Clay?
Yeah, I was hearing that this morning. They were like, Clay, and I heard there was a package deal they tried to put together for Clay and Poole to send them going, and they want to keep Draymond, and then they say bring in Bill. They want to bring in Bill. If you can do that, that would be a good deal for the Warriors.
Not going to be angry at that.
Yeah. So it seems like I don't know, and then with the Lakers, that I think they got to do something with the point guard. Even I even heard today that they might even be trying to look for Harden. Talking about Harden would be a good, yeah.
God.
Listen, they talking about he would be good with. Can you imagine James Harden and Anthony Davis in the pick and roll, and he would be distributing the ball and all of this? And so I'm like you. I'm Harden, no, but
Chris Paul, man, and this is the thing that sucks is, and this is the thing I don't understand about with basketball players, especially a guy like LeBron's a billionaire. Just take no money, get paid nothing. Go get Chris Paul, who seems to always have to max out his contract. Go get Chris Paul. Go get a chip.
That won't work. How do you think you're going to get a chip with Chris Paul? Come on, you almost started laughing when you first thought about that.
Yeah, but he'll get hurt. But
that's what I'm saying.
But as far as like a point guard, Chris Paul's a great point guard.
Your best ability is what?
Availability. Yeah.
Exactly.
So he'll be on your team until mid-May, late April.
When we need him the most.
What you need to do is just sit him until March. Then that way it'll kind of balance out. That we're good. He'll get hurt, right at the end of the finals.
I'm telling you, I'd rather have Kyrie. If there's anybody out there that I would yes, I know how you're looking and all of that. Kyrie will come in on a mission, and that guy is going to get you some buckets. That's what that Lakers need, somebody to get you buckets, and Kyrie will get you buckets.
He's crazy.
Chris Paul ain't going to get you buckets.
He won't. You're right.
Yeah, he's not going to get you buckets, and Harding ain't going to get you too much of anything. You need somebody that can just straight out and get buckets, and that's what Kyrie could do. We'll have to ring him in all kind of ways and do all kind of things to keep him going. But yeah, we need buckets at this point.
Let him burn his incense or whatever weird crap he does, or make sure he doesn't get too sad about the news or something weird.
Whatever happens, we got it. We need buckets, son.
That dude is wild. Do you see Denver? Denver they got to be one of the top teams in the West for next year too, right?
They will be, but like you said, it's loaded, man. Even the teams are loaded. You can't everybody's on a dynasty. Are they going to be a dynasty and stuff like that? There's a lot of teams out there. Phoenix is going to reload. You're going to have Kevin Durant if he can stay healthy. Him and Darren Booker together again for another year. If they can get one more piece in there, and I think they're moving on from Aikman, the center. I think he's out of there. But they make a couple changes. Who knows? Like, we don't know what's going on with the Warriors. If the Lakers can get the right piece, there's gonna be some good teams out there. So they'll be. Of course, they're gonna be. Probably a favorite, maybe, but who knows?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say they're gonna be a number one sure cut favorite.
Did you see? Was Joker at the parade today?
I didn't see the Joker at the parade. The
Okay,
Joker is that guy. He cracks me up. You see him the other day though when he won.
He's like the parade's Thursday. He's like, I gotta go home. It's like,
oh yeah. When did he go? When is the parade?
Yeah,
Thursday. I gotta
that's
go
wild.
home.
So I didn't see nothing just popping up on the news. I didn't pay a ton of attention to it other than I saw the picture of like the 500,000 people downtown. But that would be wild if he didn't go. I mean, talk about just like I'm good at basketball, but it's not. I got to go ride horses. That's wild.
Yeah, he showed up though. I seen something today. They said he didn't really realize the impact of how much the parade meant to And then, but that's wild. I heard they had shootings up there. Denver is crazy. They had all kind of stuff going on at that parade.
Yeah.
And then, did you hear he lost his MVP trophy? How do you lose your MVP? Here, pass this over here.
It's like this big. Where's it go?
Not the championship, the MVP when he got for the small. Yeah.
How do you misplace that? That guy pretty ripped that off.
Well, I think he got it back. They said he ended up getting it back, but it was missing for like some days, a couple days or something. He didn't know. Yeah, somebody had it.
That's funny. Like, that's amazing to be that good at basketball, to be that well known, and you're just like, I lost my MVP trophy. I may not go to the parade. It's like,
I got to get home.
I mean, it's cool and it's crazy at the same time. Like, I'd rather be that than the person who wants to be in the spotlight and everything. But he's just like, I want to go home. Oh, okay.
And I think that's the attitude that, like you said, about how Gordon, how he is. They just fit in like that. All of them, they're just like, hey, we just coming here to play basketball.
It's the opposite of Memphis.
Exactly. Opposite of a lot of teams, really. A lot, even LA, everybody is Tinseltown, wants to be in the spotlight. They win a few games and
Yeah, but LeBron and Kawhi are kind of, I mean,
well, those guys are not those. I'm talking about the rest of the guys, not LeBron. LeBron is not, but I'm like the rest of the teammates. They win a few games and they're all like, got commercials and and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, but like you say, LeBron and Kawhi, they're who they are. They already,
Kawhi's a weird dude. He's a weird dude. So moving to, we had big news last episode. We were talking about the A's and how they got left off the meeting schedule, but they got put on. And I don't know if you saw any of the highlights of like the owner and not the GM, but the owner and the president talking. If I was in Vegas and I heard those two dummies talk, there was be like, we should get a different team, because they couldn't sell that to save their life. It's like they had never thought of what to do or how it would impact Vegas. They're just like, this is a great opportunity. I would have been so disappointed if I was somebody in Vegas. But if one thing Vegas knows how to do is make money, so they know, fine, bring in a baseball team, let these two dummies, we'll write these two dummies a check and stuff. We'll figure it out. But are you an A's fan at all?
Well, I am. I like the A's. I followed everything East Bay. That's why I was a Raider fan.
Okay. When did you start becoming it? Like, who were the stars when you were started becoming
way back in the 70s? Reggie Jackson, Vita Blue, Catfish Hunter, Manny Lou, all those guys. When I used to go to the parades when they used to win back then. They had the parades downtown Oakland. So yeah, I should be up there watching that.
Yeah, I was actually an A's fan before a Giants fan. Like, they got into that thing in the early 90s where they just started shipping off players. Like, when they got rid of McGuire, I'm like, I'm cool. But growing up, I loved Ricky Henderson. I had their whole lineup: Ricky Henderson and Carney Lansford and Canseco, McGuire, Terry Steinbach, Mike Ig. I mean, those were the 88, 89 teams were, man, I loved those teams. Mm-hmm. And it's just, I don't know why MLB lets crappy owners have teams where NFL is like, we're going to get you out of, and it's going to be obvious we're trying to get you out of here. Baseball's like, we have these totally inept people running this team in Oakland. It's okay.
Yeah.
So weird.
It is. It's sad, but like you said, that Vegas, I was watching today where the governor is going to sign it. They voted it in and everything, and then the governor's he approved it, and now it's up to Major League Baseball. And I was just listening to the commissioner; he's already on board.
For sure.
And they were saying like the commissioner just only reiterates what the owners. He don't have really the authority. He just whatever the owners say, he just goes out and repeat it. So the owners got to vote. But if the commissioner's already saying what he said, that means the owners have already told him it's a done deal.
Well, because it puts a footprint in a place that baseball didn't have a footprint. I mean,
exactly.
The Bay Area still has the Giants, even though it's the other side of the Bay. But now they have a footprint, and I wonder if they're going to keep the A's name.
They probably will, just like the Raiders. They're probably the Vegas A's.
Yeah,
the Las Vegas A's.
I can't believe Oakland's lost all of their teams.
They're still talking. I seen something right before we came on. They're talking about after the commissioner said that the Oakland didn't try and do blah this and all that, then they rebutted all of that. Said that they had already did all the environmental impact and things, and they already had a proposal for the stadium. So they're still talking about what they want to do and do. But I think it's a done deal. I don't think they're not even looking in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if just the relocation makes the owner more money. That's obviously what he was going for. Like the A's were like the second or first in like revenue making, but that's because their payroll is like $40 million, which is nothing. Like they don't even make the teams use all the money that they get from the whatever the extra the income
like the revenue is the revenue sharing?
Well, they do the revenue sharing, but they also have like the taxes for the guys that are over a certain threshold of payroll. They don't even make them use that. Like, could you imagine in football if here's your salary cap and we're like, yeah, we're $80 million under the cap? People would lose their mind. Like, no wonder nobody's going to the games. It's so
no wonder you're losing all the time.
Yeah, no wonder you guys have won like 6 games this year. It's crazy. They'll lose 100 games this year.
Right, yeah.
It sucks, but but they've been doing it, and I think that whole Moneyball thing, I think that's why there aren't a lot of fans there, because the Moneyball thing is like the players don't matter. It's like the numbers matter. So when you've had 15 years or 20 years of every time somebody gets good, you ship them out for 10 draft picks or for a relief pitcher, like there's nobody to like lock onto. Exactly. I mean, the last team you could really lock onto was it like 03 when they won like 21 games in a row, and it was like Miguel Tejada and Chavez and that team.
Right.
That was like they're going to the playoffs every year, and then they just keep shipping off guys. Like there's nobody to like.
Yeah, and then like right now they just got on this win streak. I was laughing. They had like a 7-game win streak.
I mean, who cares?
Yeah, really. But they were talking about they had I think the last game they had like 21,000. I guess that's supposed to be a big number. 21.
Well, because it was the reverse boycott. It was the go to the game to tell him to sell, and they just gave him $150,000 to leave.
Yeah, so poor A's, poor Oakland.
Yeah,
what are you gonna do now? Nothing.
They're gonna go to Vegas and watch games now, and then they'll go, "Oh, it's not so bad. We get to go to Vegas." Wait, have you been to Vegas to see a Raiders game?
No, I'm going this season.
Okay,
I'm going this season.
Okay, that's cool. So speaking of your team, and Carson Wentz, who is, I don't know, he's working with John Gruden. I don't know in what capacity, but Gruden still has ties to, I'm sure there's some ties to the Raiders and stuff. Gruden's been working with the Saints and with Carr, which is, I think is funny. And could you see a scenario where Carson Wentz ends up on your team?
I hope not. Why would you want Carson Wentz on your team? I mean, I was thinking
I want Carson Wentz on your team. I don't know if you'd want.
No, why would anybody want Carson Wentz on their team? I would say if as a backup, like a third string quarterback, that he's a serviceable quarterback in that role, to come in and relieve somebody. But no, he's not no starter. Where he's been and what he's done. No, why would you even be interested in him?
Can you think of another player? He was basically the MVP of the league, gets hurt, Foles comes in and just murders everybody, and he's just never been. I can't think of anybody. I mean, maybe Kaepernick, but then Kaepernick also, you didn't get to see his career extend out because he got blackballed. But I can't think of another player that came in and was MVP caliber, like crushing it, and then just kind of nothing.
Yeah,
It's
they
crazy.
were talking about how he was like really selfish and he had all kind of
Yeah, I
personal
heard he's
issues.
I heard he's not a
Those
good
type.
locker room guy.
Yeah, a lot of his teammates didn't really like him that much, and I think he threw a lot of guys under the bus and stuff like that. So I think that's what really derailed him, and then he had to try to prove himself that that's all false. That's not true, and never did. So when you're trying to work on your personality more than you're working on your game, so
Or not, because he would say that's not true and go to the next team, and it was the same thing.
it'd
They're
be the same thing. Yeah,
one and dones.
yeah,
You could be a jerk and be a good quarterback, can't you?
exactly.
I would think.
They only want the results on the field is what counts. So
Yeah, but he's just nothing, man. It's just, and
yeah.
he wasn't actually that bad with the Colts. I'd be interested to see if he ends up. Um, where did the old Colts coach go? I'm blanking right now.
They did what?
Where did the Colts coach that got let go? What team did he go to? I'm totally blanking right now.
Yeah, yeah. No, we need that. Where's Bill when you need him?
Yeah, seriously, not on the call. And then sticking with football, the Vikings are released Dalvin Cook. May bring him back. I think he's owed 5 or something, or he's owed 10, and they wanted to give him 5, but he wants 10. And I think he's kind of an example of like the bigger picture of this trend for running backs, where you don't sign the running back to a second big contract. Like you maybe draft him high, but you have like a team of running backs and you use all those guys, and they're making I know Taylor for the Colts is also up for a contract, and he's like, I don't like the way running backs are being treated, and I can understand why. But it seems like they're kind of proving that you don't need to sign the big name running back. And if you do, you get in a situation like the Cowboys where he's taking up a huge chunk of your thing. And because running back is such a brutal position that if you use a running back 25 times a game, you wear them out fast. Like, and you guys have an issue too. You guys have Jacobs.
Jacobs and what the Giants got Saquon Barkley that he's not getting his deal done. Like I said, it's a trend around the league. But I used to play running back in the day. I still love the running back position, and I think it's still a valued position.
It's huge.
And you have to have it. You could get a stable of running backs, but when you got a special running back, you gotta give that. And Cook, he's only 27 years old. I can see when you're approaching 30, you can start saying, okay, this guy is about 30 years old. But he's 27. He's just in his prime right now.
Yeah.
And if you got a running back like that, you have to give them their money and roll with them, because you can't be one dimensional, and just pass the ball all the time. You got a bunch of running backs that are just mediocre. That ain't going to get the job done. So if you got that guy that's special, pay the guy and let him play.
Yeah. Well, and I think for Saquon especially, so I mean, he had his injuries and stuff and he was out. But man, you take Saquon off that Giants team last year, they are not doing what they did, because that dude was a huge part of their offense. And maybe it's the type of running back that they need to have. Maybe they need the running back that can run and then catch the ball out of the backfield. Because like we use McCaffrey way too much, but he's that dude where you want to use him a lot because you can do so much with the position if they can catch.
Right.
I keep looking at the Vikings, and man, at the end of last year, I thought, okay, the Vikings are going to they got Brian Flores running the defense. So I'm like, their defense was a huge issue last year. It's not going to be an issue anymore because Flores is an awesome defensive coach. I thought for sure that they're going to be a very, very tough team to beat. They'll be, top 3, top 4 in the NFC, but then they keep this guy's going and this guy's leaving, and I'm going. So either their GM's fantastic and they have those holes filled, or they're going to suck next year, because
we're going to find out, huh?
Yeah. I don't. They were my sleeper team at the very end of the season, but now I'm looking at all these guys leaving. I'm like, I don't know who's going to win for them.
Yeah, everybody's always not giving. They don't have confidence in Kirk Cousins. They go, So yeah, as far as being a sleeper team, Kirk Cousins don't cut it. So
yeah, and I thought they solved that by getting Flores. It's like, okay, you don't have to rely on Kirk Cousins. You have a coach that's going to whoop that defense into shape, but
yeah,
that looks like their offense is nothing. Okay, so for people that don't know that are listening, this is going to be our last episode until we come back in September when football starts again. We could run it over this. Yeah. we could run it over the summer and talk about baseball, but nobody really cares about baseball that much, and the A's are gone, and so figure we'll do like a summer break, come back in football. Appreciate everybody listening. Appreciate Deacon Greg for being a part of this, and Brother Bill for being a part of this also. And looking forward to, I love football so much. So I'm looking forward to football, seeing what the Raiders are going to do, seeing what the Niners are going to do, what our quarterback, who's going to be our quarterback and our backup quarterback and our third string quarterback, and whose arm's falling off and who can throw, and if Jimmy's foot's okay.
Yeah.
Or if you guys pick up Wentz, which would be hilarious.
No, we don't get Wentz. But again, I just want to thank you, Joe. You did a fantastic job of hosting and very knowledgeable and with the subjects and things like that. And Bill, he did, I always say Bill is the technical guy with the numbers. He's the number cruncher because he can give you all the stats and statistics. So I love that, talking with Bill and going back and forth. It was a great opportunity and a lot of fun. So thanks a lot.
This was great. All right, you guys, we will see you all in September.